Hello everybody! So today you join us. It is today the 25th of September 2025. We've called this video Desperate Times because we are on silage making. You can see we have the rake behind, and when I turn the camera around and point you out of the front window, you will see why we are calling it Desperate Times. We are on third cut silage. It is very low yielding, hence the desperate bit. But we've got to do it. We've got to go. We need some more bales in store. So every September, depending on the weather, you know, the weather at the time depends on what day we do it. But we go around all of our it's all the rented fields. Everywhere at home is just grazed by the cows at this time of year. So we go around all the rented fields. What is there to cut? Is there anything worth cutting? Do we need to cut it? You know, what have we got in stock or in store? And what's the weather doing? Can we cut any? So we didn't need to go around counting up what we've got this year in store, because we know it's not very much. So you know, we know we're low on forage. So we know we are a little bit tight for forage. So what we did, we set to and we drove around all the fields to see what was worth cutting, if any of it, and because we've got a settled week this week. We came to the conclusion that 50 acres of second cut after hay at the moment isn't worth cutting, but if we get some reasonable weather for the next couple of weeks, it might be. You know, we've made plenty of silage in October before now. There's no reason for this year to be any different. But pretty much everything else that we covered for second cut was just about worth cutting. We were working on the assumption or the hope that if we could get one round bale to the acre, it would be worth doing. So we're covering about 70 acres. So if we end up with 70 bales at the end of this, we could be very grateful for 70 bales in January, February time, because that's a long way off yet. So that's what we did. Ben started mowing 2 days ago. I started raking yesterday. We're in the last little bit of raking now. Ben is baling. So what we're going to do, as soon as I finish raking here, I'm going to go and get the wrapper on and start wrapping. I'm not too concerned about how far ahead of me he's going to get area wise, because he's going to have to cover a lot of area to get a bale. Where he's going to start baling, well, I think we'll be lucky to get one bale to the acre. Where we are now, it's not. We probably would get a bale to the acre, and there is one field we might even stretch to 1.5 bales to the acre. But yeah, 70 bales over the whole area is looking a bit iffy at the minute, but anything we get is going to be welcome at this time of year. So there we go, that is what we are raking. This isn't the best bit of the field, this isn't the worst bit of the field, this is kind of average of what we've got for the whole cut, really, the whole crop. Poor. But having said that, it has only been growing probably 4 weeks. Started raining the last week in August, and we're the last week in September now. So yes, it's not been growing all that long. So yield is low, but the not growing very long is slightly a benefit. Quite often on this kind of permanent pasture, this late in the year into late September on third cuts, quite often with this we end up with a lot of rust on the grass, which is kind of it's a discoloration. It's a rusty coloured kind of a mouldy spore kind of a dew. Late season grass often gets it, but because this was cut, second cut was probably 10 weeks ago, I think that was early July. But it just stayed bare for the next 6 weeks until that rain at the end of August, so that there wasn't anything for the rust to affect. So what we've got is nice young leafy grass, clean, just not very much of it. So this is the reason I'm not too concerned about how far ahead Ben gets of me with the baler, because I'm fairly confident it won't take me all that long to catch him up. You know, because I just have to dodge around the field, pick up maybe 4 bales in a 5-acre field. That's not going to take long to wrap. But anyway, right, let's get on. We're halfway across this field now. What we'll do when we get out, pack the rake away, pack the arms up. We'll get out, we'll have a look at the grass, just because it's reasonable looking stuff. But I am a little bit pushed for time, so we'll not be jumping in and out unnecessarily. We'll keep on moving, and when we pack the rake up at the end, we'll have a look at what we've got. So there we go, that is the final bit of raking for today, potentially for the whole year. Time will tell. Anyway, right, I said when I was packing the rake up we would show you some grass, but there's actually hardly anything over this side of the field. So we'll go back to the gateway where there's a little bit more of a swath we can have a look at. So we always just take off the outer 3 arms just to drop the transport height, and then it will sit nicely in the shed without these on. So this rake has just completed its 17th season since it got here. So we bought this rake halfway through first cut, 2009, and it's done all the raking since then. We did replace what we had before. This was a very worn out, very second hand class 780 that was worn out when we had it. We only had it for 18 months, something like that, 2 years, and got fed up with fixing it. So we had this one, and we've not touched it since, really. We've replaced a lot of the little tyres underneath. They don't last forever. We've replaced one of these PTO tubes a few years ago, and just yesterday I did have to replace one of these hydraulic pipe here. He's perished where he bends over like this. I expect that one I want changing before next year, but just perished on the bend. So that's pretty good going for 17 years worth of trouble-free raking. So here is our crop, very, very low yielding, but if we have a close look at it, it's leafy, it's green, it's nice stuff. It has dried off on the top a little bit. There's enough moisture underneath. We'll make some very nice silage. And like we were saying earlier on, it's green, it's clean, it's got no rust on it, which is unusual for this time of year. Right, let's go and put the rake to bed, get the wrapper on, and then make a start. So we have landed in the first field with the wrapper, and either somebody has been in and stolen all the bales, or he did a whole field and didn't get the bale, didn't get his first bale made. So, which is more likely, because it was pretty light. So our 1 bale to the acre is already out of the window, and it's barely started. We better go hunting bales. When I spoke to him 25 minutes ago, he said he was halfway across this next field. So I expect he's well finished that now. He's probably got the first bale by now, but I can't see one yet. Oh, there's one. There's one. There it is. There. Oh, there's 2 out here. Blimey. There's our 3rd cut up ahead. That's nearly all of it. Anyway, right, let's go on. Let's go and get this first bale picked up. 2 bales out here. Where he's baling now, his third field, that is probably the best out of all of it. So I'm hopeful for 2 bales out there. So here is bale number 1. As you can tell, it is quite a scruffy looking bale. They're all going to be like that because this has been in the chamber for so long, turning while he's picking it up. Probably 6, dare I say, about 5 acres in this bale. That's disappointing, but it's been in the chamber for so long, round and round and round. It's a scruffy bale. They're all going to be like that. But he sounds pretty solid. He should be. He's a nice firm bale. So let's get him picked up, get him wrapped. It's nice and dry. It smells good. It does smell nice stuff. And this is leafy, just like what we just looked at, like we were raking. But yeah, disappointing number of bales already. So here we go. First one going on. Right, our wrap isn't threaded through the tensioners. Didn't notice that. Let's reverse. Start again. So the wrap needs to be routed through these tensioners, so it comes off of the roll, over this one, around the back, off of this one, and then off up to the bale. These are geared, so they run. They're not powered by anything, they're just powered by the action of the wrap passing through, but they turn at different speeds. So that has the effect of stretching this stuff as it comes off. So it comes off the roll, it goes through the tensioning unit, and it gets stretched, so it makes it go a lot farther. And the action of stretching it makes it grip the bale tight, and that's where your airtight seal comes from. So yeah, let's start again. Ignore that bit. So let's abort our first. A good job we're not under pressure, isn't it? It's a good job we haven't got 50 bales ahead of us. Anyway, right, let's rethread and start again. Right, so we'll thread our end through the rollers, pull up all this slack. It's all going a right old mess. Right. Right, and then we will take this end around the back of the wrapper, tie it on to where the knife that cuts it. Right, let's go for take 2. That's going to snap. It's not pulling off the roll. What is that? Right, here we go, third time lucky. Let's see how this works out. Right, we're away. Right, so there is our first bale off. It's tipped and cut. They're quite heavy. Right, a couple of false starts with the wrap, but other than that, we're away. So there is our second bale wrapped. So we're going to save time on loading bales by travelling all the way across the field with one on the wrapper. We're going to tip it next to the other one that we wrapped. So yeah, that'll save a lot of time. I'm quite hopeful for the next field. When I was raking, I fancied the next field we're going to go into was the heaviest out of the whole lot. And that's 2 bales for every, and something like a bale every 4 acres so far. It can't get much worse, can it? So here we go, into field number 3, and oh, I can see 3 bales already. Wow, oh 4. I reckon we might get 5 bales out here, and I think, unless there's any over the hill, we might end up with 5 bales out here. This is a 7-acre field, so we're way out of a bale to the acre, even on the best bit. So now we are into the next day and the final 2 fields, 30 acres in these 2. Ben's been, what did he get? He got a good hour's head start on me, and he had 5 bales when I arrived. So he's over halfway on the first 19 acres. This one is. He's well over halfway done now. So yields are way down on what we were expecting or kind of thinking we might get. Yeah, so we'll be lucky to get to 20 bales at the end of all this. I don't know, we're just about 21, 22 bales maybe, something like that, when we finished. So substantially down on the 70 we were thinking we might get one before we cut it. I can't remember now if I said yesterday I'd revised my total down to 50, but still not even halfway towards 50. So there we go. But anything we get, we will probably be grateful for it come February. So it's been a lot of work, a lot of running around for very little. Potentially we could have left it a few weeks. It might have bulked up a bit more. Equally, it might have started raining and we wouldn't have even got this. One kind of unseen benefit of taking this off, oh dear, run out of wrap. But the unseen benefit of taking off the grass we have done, we've now taken this crop, we're late September now, down to a nice level to go into the winter. It's not uncommon these days for grass to grow very slightly all the way through the winter, and if this had been left with the 3 or 4 inches of growth that was on it in places, that would have just got old over winter. It would have died off. Bit of frost could have killed any of it. It would have been sat there a very long time till next May when we come in the first cut. So we have spent a lot of time messing about for very little, but hopefully one of the unseen benefits of this is going to be higher quality in the first cut next year. So everything we're doing, there's always a knock-on effect to whatever you do, and it's not always immediate, but in the long run things always come out. Anyway, right, let's get rid of our empty roll. and swap over. So we've got to make sure the wrap unrolls the right way. Alright, that's right, I can lift him up and put him on, because you don't want to be heaving these around if they're up the wrong way. So we are just wrapping what I think is going to be the final bale. Ben does have a few swaths left to bale, but there's so little there. I suspect he won't have enough in the chamber to wrap it. So this could well be the final one. So what does that put us at? 26! That's pretty poor. So there we are, 26 bales altogether, which could well be quite valuable come the end of the winter, but we were open for more. Anyway, right, I guess next thing we'll come round, pick them up. Now that ain't going to take long. So you can see they're not the nicest shaped bales where they were in the chamber for so long. A few little bits of lumps and bumps on the edges, but they're tight and they're heavy. It's the most important thing. So there we go, we are all loaded up. Our final load is heading back to the yard. So we did say earlier in the video we looked at 50 acres that was second cut after hay, and it wasn't worth cutting yet, but it might be in the future. Going on performance of what we have just cut, it's not going to be worth bothering with. You know, we're pretty much, you know, it's very late September now. It's not that type of grass, it's not going to grow a lot more. So pretty much what we've got in forage wise in store now is what we've got for the winter. So yes, we have done a lot of effort into getting these 26 bales, but we're not going to know if it's worth it until kind of March time. You know, was it worth all the hassle? Anyway, let us know if you have got cattle of any description. What is your forage situation like? Where are you in the country? Because different parts of the UK was affected by the drought in different ways. And some areas didn't get a drought at all. And if you have had to buy new forage, how much, you know, did it cost? So there we go. I'll say thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.